We had another video to post today, but what happened at the FIFAe World Cup Final feels way too important not to talk about. Some of you guys might have been watching along, some of you guys might not have been. So today I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion on the whole situation that happened and what I think should have happened as well. Once again, if you're kind of living under a rock for the last few hours, in the FIFAe World Cup Final today, it went to penalty kicks. For whatever reason, during the broadcast of the penalty kicks, they decided to stream one of the players' screens. Seems like no big deal, until you realize that he had his controller overlay on it. And for those of you guys that don't know what a controller overlay is, basically it's the controller that's usually in the top right-hand side of the screen where it shows every which way they're pointing, every button they hit. So clearly you can see how unbeneficial this is during a penalty kick shootout if everybody in the arena knows where you're aiming. The person's screen that was being shared is named Mark and he plays for Team FUTWIZ, and when he realized this, he raised his hand multiple times, like you're supposed to do at these events, to call on a referee to say that there's an issue going on. And unfortunately, nothing happened. Here's the clip.
Extra time finishes. He now knows
so that's where Mark spotted straight away.
Now he's seen it. He's pointing. Headphones coming out. Demon's seen it as well. Hand up 3 times.
The thing is as well, sorry to interrupt Rachel, is that Mark is also trying to still do his job of taking a penalty shootout when knowing that that's there. That is not a nice situation.
Yeah, his hand went up 5, 6 times there. So he made, you can see, I think, a couple of officials in the back. Obviously, they could all see this playing out.
And yeah, your head's elsewhere. You know, you're not involved. Every little fine detail in a penalty shootout and thinking whether they're going to go left, whether they're going to go right, whether they're going to, you have to take the step. You're trying to think about that, but Mark's obviously very concerned with what he's seeing there. The officials are having conversations. You can see the microphone raised, and there isn't a decision. No one's gone, yes, let's pause this, you know, and let's go back to it. I don't know.
Well, we do have confirmation then that the decision does stand.
FUTWIZ put out a tweet saying, "Stop trying to protect what is a clear issue with the grand final at a World Cup," at the FIFA broadcast team. Mark clearly raised this issue 3 times before penalties started and nothing was done, so we get left with the biggest final of the year completely ruined by unnecessary circumstances. Disregarding your own rules is a disgrace. We want to also add we have 0 issue with Bashor and Team Hullet. This is not their fault. Which I agree. You shouldn't be mad at the other team whatsoever. Completely out of their control, whatever's broadcasted to the main screen. But this is another video I saw today, kind of speaking on the other side, just so we show both ends of it, as to why the broadcast team shouldn't be blamed.
I'll be honest, I think it's very unfair to bring it down on the broadcast team and make it out that it's the broadcast team's responsibility to shed light on this situation. I mean, I'm not trying to make this about me, I promise, but I mean, at the end of the day, these guys have seen me, who was part of the original kind of esports team and broadcast team, be completely ostracized from esports broadcasts because I used to say my opinions on the game in my own spaces and my own, obviously, media. So you can't really bring it down to them. They're not part of the referee team. They're not part of the organisers. Their job is to be there, host, analyse, and do the best, most professional job they can. So I think it's a little bit unfair to kind of suggest that guys have to do things that might potentially put their entire living, you know, up in the air, you know, and obviously get them ostracised as well. I do think this is not a broadcast issue. It's really not. This is a referee issue. This is a FIFA issue. This is an EA issue. And like I said, to bring it down to talent and guys whose job is to literally be a face and talk and do stuff, I think it's a little bit unfair. I'll be completely honest. I don't think that's the energy we should be pushing towards them. I understand the situation is frustrating for you guys at FUTWIZ. I really, really do. But I don't think attacking the broadcast team is the right way to go about it. Yeah, that's my opinion on this situation.
And I guess I see it from both sides because I guess maybe, and this is a huge maybe by the way, if the commentary team kind of banded together and said, hey, this isn't fair and made it a public thing on the stream, it might have forced FIFA's hands to maybe replay this penalty kick shootout. But at the same time, I do understand it's these guys' livelihood as well. And I guess that's kind of something they had to take into account too. Either way, I feel absolutely awful for Mark right here. No penalty kick shootout, especially once again, we're playing FIFA, one of the craziest games in the entire world to be, I think, crazy consistent at. I think no players should have their World Cup final come down to this, which is just a broadcast mistake. I do really think that it could have been fixed in the moment. And I think the other side as well, as bad as we do feel for Mark, Manu on the other side of it, just won his very first FIFAe World Cup, and everybody's going to tarnish it for the rest of his life, saying that it wasn't deserved. When in reality, what happened in this event was neither one of these players' faults. First place was $300,000. Second place was $150,000. Don't get me wrong. fantastic money, but an extra $150,000 is life-changing money, especially when you consider how young some of these kids are. I think it'll be interesting to see in the future if there is something that comes out from FIFAe addressing this entire situation, whether they're going to get new officials for these games, because clearly stuff like this can happen on the biggest stage out there. One of the things I wanted to check on as well, though, was to see if Team Hullet had addressed this situation whatsoever. Once again, this whole thing was out of their control, so I don't think they're necessarily entitled to. But from like a fair play standpoint, kind of part of me expected to see something. But from what I've seen so far, doesn't necessarily look that way. Incredible, incredible, incredible season for this organization, and also for Manu to be the best FIFA player in the entire world. But when you go to the comments already on this, obviously, first off, Jay Denman saying brilliant season from you guys, who was the coach once again for Team FUTWIZ. Very, very cool of him to be this cool about it when obviously so much was on the line that his player ended up losing. So brilliant from him there. Obviously, a few people saying, hey, you know, congratulations, best in the world. But the comments have started already too with the clown emoji, cheats, shameful to be honest. You don't deserve it, bro, with all respect. I don't think any of these comments should be coming in. It's not their fault whatsoever. It would just be nice if FIFAe could somehow compensate Mark for this as well, just due to the situation being basically their fault. But I figured as well, maybe we just show you guys a few reactions from the community too. Tom Leese put out a tweet that said, what an absolute disgrace, the lowest day in FIFA esports history. Danny R9 Rye putting out a tweet too, saying FIFA esports proving again why it's a laughingstock. Mark tried to tell them and they didn't do anything. $300,000 in the line, and you've got his controller on the main screen in a pen shootout. Laughable, should be replayed right now. Which I agree. I don't think it should have even started if we knew that was going to be an issue. One of the judges, one of the referees should have stepped in, called it off. I get that it was from a whole production standpoint. They probably wanted the show to go on. But once again, this is life-changing money to these kids. You have to make this as fair as possible. Jay Denman, who's the coach for Mark over on Team FUTWIZ, put out a tweet saying, absolutely heartbroken for Mark. Please don't send any hate in the direction of Renzo, Manu, and Team Hullet. I feel awful for both players. And you're even getting tweets from people that aren't even really in the pro scene at all. Like Kazooie says, honestly don't care about FIFA esports at all. Just feel really sorry for what just happened. Very true. Nerdfire with the tweet as well, so this is so bad for FIFA esports, allowing that to stand as well and not redo that shootout. And Jamie, who used to be a pro player for FUTWIZ but now turned content creator, put out a tweet saying, people's once-in-a-lifetime moments, people's opportunity to win life-changing amounts of money on the line. The absolute incompetence we've seen and continue to see at times from people to make decisions is continuing to be the reason why people don't take FIFA esports seriously. I'm going to be looking out to see if anything comes out from FIFAe. If you guys have any opinions on this down below, I'm sure we're probably all on the same page where this should not have started. Never should have started. There should have been a replay. Congratulations to both these men, though, for making it to the FIFAe World Cup Final. I can't even fucking get 16 wins in FUT Champs anymore. Go show support to both these guys, though, because there's a shit situation for both of them. And hopefully in the future, FIFAe can get a hold of this and make sure nothing like this ever happens again. Because if they called this the final stand, then there's nothing else we can do now. And we'll see you guys next time.